Today I'm sharing 7 steps you can take to boost your interview confidence. And number 7 is the best way that you end an interview as well, with confidence and making sure that the interviewer is happy. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Camillo. I'm a certified career coach and former recruiter with 15 years of recruiting and interviewing experience. Okay, let's jump into number 1, which is the 20% reminder. So remind yourself that only 20% of job applicants actually get scheduled for an interview. So what that means is you've already impressed somebody either with your resume, or maybe you met somebody in person at a networking event, or you were referred by somebody. No matter what the case, you were scheduled for an interview, so you're already in the top 20%. And plus, if you walk into an interview without self-confidence, how do you expect a new employer to hire you with confidence, right? So I often have to remind my clients of that 20% fact. So do the same for yourself. Remind yourself of that fact walking into the interview, and just remember that the employer is excited to meet with you. That's huge. All right, step number 2, dress with a purpose. So studies have shown that it only takes 7 seconds for somebody to form a first opinion of you when they see you. So yes, appearance does matters. You're representing yourself because they're also thinking about how you're going to represent their organization. And in interviews, a positive first impression can set the tone for the entire conversation. So while appearance is important, it's not everything. So it's not critical to have a designer outfit or the trendy handbag or anything like that, but it is for dressing for the role that you want. And also portraying that you have self-confidence and that you are polished and confident in your own skin. And when you're confident in your own skin, your body language follows. So be sure you're standing up tall, you're walking with confidence, you're smiling. All of those portrays confidence. On the flip side, if you don't feel good in your appearance, it's going to take up space in your mind and distract you throughout the whole interview. So quick story. I had a client who lost 60 pounds over COVID, and he had an interview coming up when things were opening up again. He had to go on site, and he had a suit that he was just drowning in. So I could tell he was uncomfortable because he actually took a selfie and sent me a picture of himself in the suit that it just didn't fit him. So I had recommended that he either borrow a suit from a friend or get his own suit tailored, or last resort, buy a whole outfit or new suit altogether, because I wanted him to feel good in his suit so that it wouldn't distract him. Nerves are already a big factor in every interview, so why put this on top of it? One last point here is pay attention to your industry standards and norms. So for years, dressing professionally was highly recommended and pretty much critical for every interview. So nowadays, some companies have become more relaxed, especially some companies like tech companies or startups or maybe some agencies. They may have a little bit more of a relaxed dress code. So you can ask about that if you'd like. But when in doubt, always lean on being more professional, if anything. So remember this, when you look polished, you're sending a message that you're taking this opportunity very seriously and that you respect both yourself and the person interviewing you. And that is powerful. All right, step number 3, the feel good prep. So now you've got the look, you're looking good, but feeling good is just as important. And a great interview starts the night before. So have your outfit on that you know you're gonna wear to the interview, have it ready to go, send some pics to your friends or your coaches if you want another point of view. Get a good night's sleep, stay hydrated, avoid any foods or booze or anything like that the night before that will make you feel sluggish or not on point the next day. When you feel good mentally and physically, it impacts how you speak, impacts your body language, and impacts your energy level. So it's very important. Okay, that's gonna roll right into step number 4, which is your morning routine. Let's be honest, the morning of the interview, you're going to feel nervous. So set up your morning routine that makes you feel centered and ready. Don't skip any steps or else you might feel off during the rest of the day. Whether or not you have a morning routine, try to make sure that that includes some kind of movement, like a walk or a run, yoga, stretching, a HIIT workout, anything else like dancing in place as you're waiting for your coffee, anything that gets you moving, because that's going to wake up your body, it's going to stimulate your brain and get you ready to be focused for the upcoming interview. If it's not movement for you, maybe there's other activities like meditation or breathing exercises or listening to motivational speakers, positive affirmations, reading, anything. Do what works for you to get rid of those jitters. If you have a morning skincare routine that just makes you glow, do it that day as well. And don't forget to eat something nutritious. You don't want to be on site in an interview and have your stomach be rumbling. So make sure you eat something. You want your brain to be fueled and ready to go. Take your vitamins, take your supplements, have your favorite coffee that day. Whatever works to make you feel good, do it. Let's be honest, when you feel good and you look good, you're just more confident. It just all comes together. One other thing I'm hearing a lot about, probably because I am over 40 as well, is a lot of women who are in perimenopause or premenopause or anything related. A lot of times these symptoms kind of creep up on you, and they can be accelerated sometimes when you're stressed out or nervous. So try to keep your nerves in check. One way to also do that is sleep. Make sure you get a good night's sleep the night before. I know I already said that, but it's so important to do that. So the last couple of years I've been working with a company called Cured Nutrition, and I love their supplements. They have supplements that help with focus, supplements that help with sleep, and so many other things. So I'm gonna link them below. I also have a discount code if you're interested in trying any of them. But they are fantastic, and they can definitely help with all these other symptoms that, like I said, sometimes creep up on you when you don't expect it. So check them out. Again, this all ties into looking good, feeling good, interviewing good. Even though English is kind of taking a hit in that, but you get the point. I want to help you feel good so that you enter this interview with confidence. All right, step number 5, mental confidence and storytelling. So let's talk about mindset. This is so important. So a positive mindset going into an interview can make all the difference in the world. So if you catch yourself thinking anything like, oh, I hope they like me, or oh, I wonder if I'm good as other candidates, or even in the middle of the interview, if you find yourself rambling and you're like, oh God, I lost them. I've blown my chances. That's all gonna just take you out of the running, and it's gonna hurt yourself in the long run. So you wanna stop those thoughts immediately. Take some deep breaths, get back to you, and remind yourself that, again, you were there, you were invited for a reason. You've already impressed somebody. That's a huge step, is getting to that interview. So now be excited about the opportunity. Be excited to learn more about it. Be excited to learn and determine if it's best for you at this time in your career. This little mindset shift will help you feel way more empowered and confident in the interview process. Also, something to help you with this is visualizing your success. So I'm a big believer in this, and I'm telling you, all professional athletes will say the same thing. Pro basketball players visualize themselves making three-pointers from all over the court. Baseball players visualize their home runs in the World Series. I'm visualizing you sharing this video with everybody you know so it goes viral.
Stop it. Get some help.
But basically, the same goes for visualizing your success in an interview. So picture yourself shaking hands with somebody when you enter the room, or answering all of their questions with ease and smiling and feeling good about your responses. So you can actually feel yourself answering a question, being like, and thinking to yourself, oh, I aced that one. I loved that answer. Like, all of those things build your confidence going into an interview and will help you interview with success. So if you've never done this before, I challenge you to try it in your next interview, because this mental visual prep will help you put you in the right headspace for the interview. Step number 6, have your answers ready. So when you were in school, didn't you feel more confident going into a test when you studied in advance? So same goes for an interview. Do your homework so you're more confident going into the interview. So what does that mean, do your homework? So getting ready to share your achievements, having your stories ready, like preparing 4 to 5 stories in advance of every interview, saying them over and over and over in your head so they're a part of you. You will share those stories with more confidence. A common concern that I hear a lot is people who either ramble in an interview or they freeze, like deer in headlights in an interview. So again, preparing these stories will help you avoid doing either of those things. And then that way you know you're gonna ace 4 or 5 of those questions, and then you can always handle those other questions that kind of catch you off guard, because we know that happens in every interview as well. You can't be prepared 100% for everything they're gonna ask you. So if you know you're gonna ace 4 or 5 of those questions, you can be ready for those ones that kind of come out of nowhere. So along with those stories, have a hook prepared to answer, tell me about yourself. We all know a lot of interviews start off that way. And so I created a video all on this question, so you can watch that one next. And then also have something cool to say for how are you. Of course, every interview starts off, every conversation starts off like that, right? So having something unique to say to that is going to start you off on the right foot. One final little tip on that is, if you find yourself rambling in an interview, wrap it up, answer the question, and be ready to move on. And then it's okay to pause for a second and just say, I realize I rambled in that answer. I was really passionate about that project. And then you kind of get a laugh and you can move on. Because if you don't say something, if you don't acknowledge it, then you're going to be moving on to the interview and constantly thinking, oh my God, I already blew it. I wonder how long I was talking for. Like, you don't want it. You want to get that voice out of your head. Then also, if you're a type that freezes in an interview, you can say, I realize I sat there for a long time. I wanted to make sure I gave the right answer for you. Something like that, just to move on. Acknowledge it so you can move on as well. Step number 7, end strong. So ending an interview strong is just as important as kicking it off strong as well. And I have the best tip to help you end the interview on a high note. Most interviewers end with asking you as a candidate, do you have any questions for me? So first of all, always, always, always have questions prepared. Never say, no, you answered them all, or no, I don't have any. That will knock you out of the running more than you think. I've actually seen candidates drop from number 1 to number 2 because they either didn't ask any questions or didn't ask any good ones. So when it comes to questions, it's important to have some that are really insightful, really specific to the job. That shows that you were really prepared and picturing yourself in the job and in the opportunity, and the interviewer will appreciate that. So even though it's the end of the interview, this is still time for you to impress them. So on the flip side, I've also seen candidates go from number 2 to number 1 because they've asked such good questions. As far as the best question to ask at the end, so first of all, you should always know what the next step is in the process. So if they haven't shared that with you, then make sure you always ask, what is the next step in the process, and ask for timing on when you should hear about next steps too. Is it the end of this week? Is it 1 to 2 weeks? Just so you can be prepared for that. But as far as the best question to ask at the end, try something like this. So what are you excited about in the next year for the team or for the company? So what that does is something so simple, right? You're asking what they're excited about. But what that does, when you end on this and you hang up or you walk out of the room, they're in that mindset of being excited for this opportunity with the team. You're ending it on a high note, you're getting them in a good mood, and they're going to associate that feeling with you as well. So why is this the best? Because think about it. When they say bye or hang up or walk away from you, they are walking away thinking about that aspect, that thing that they're most excited about with the team or for the company. So then they leave happy and then they associate that feeling with you. Try it, trust me. So remember, if you look good, you feel good, and you'll interview good. It's not just about looking nice, it's about setting yourself up to be confident in every interview and bringing your best self to every interview as well, so that you're representing yourself well. The potential employer sees you in that way. So if you found these tips helpful, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below with your favorite pre-interview routine. I would love to hear that as well. All right, thank you, and see you in the next one.